Maine basketball fans, it's time for your premier wall-to-wall basketball show in the state. Friday Night Fast Break with Andrew Badillo and John Wagner starts right now.
High school basketball fans, welcome to Friday Night Fast Break. 1 week left to grab your heel points while you can.
Yeah, points at a premium at this point in the season. I'm John Wagner. That is Andrew Badillo. We have a packed show tonight. We're going to open tonight with some unfortunate news for one of the best players in northern Maine. Herman senior Isaac Varney tells us he fractured a bone in his foot in the Hawks game against Ellsworth, and his high school career may be over. Varney says he fractured a weight-bearing bone in the tendon of his big toe. The injury will not require surgery, but the typical recovery time is 6 months, though he is optimistic about an alternate treatment that could cut that time to just 4 weeks.
So tough news for the Hawks, John. Today's threat that we all heard about made against Susan Collins and several high schools in the area. That caused several high school sports postponements. Here are some of those basketball games that were impacted locally. Deering and Bangor boys, Brewer Erskine boys, Hamden Gardner boys all moved to Monday at 6:30, and 7 p.m. respectively. Here are the girls' games that were impacted, times and dates all over the place. One game tomorrow, Bangor and Deering girls. All right, we're going to start the night, though. There were some basketball games taking place. Let's take a look at the Class B North girls standings. Presque Isle at the top there with 129 heel points. Not really sure if they have enough to get in as that 1 seed, but we still have a few more games to be played. The game that we're going to be focusing on tonight, that 8 seed, John Baptist and Washington Academy girls. The only game in the Bangor area tonight. First possession, Lacey Scanlon from the top of the key. Splash for 3.
Love that. That's pretty good.
Not bad.
Yeah, that's good.
What's the rating on the splash zone?
6.3.
That's like a 0. Straight down.
Yeah.
Jamie Satterfield drives and gets the roll to go. Crusaders up 5-0. We see Morris Scanlon, though.
That was a no splash right there.
That
was a dive. That was a pencil dive.
That was a dive. Crusaders rolling in this one, 51-34.
All right, some NAC play here. UMF in Bangor to face Husson. Teron Moss back in Bangor, transferred from Maine to UMF last year, battling against the Eagles. First half here, Justice Kendall steals the ball and gets the open layup there. Hot start for the Eagles, but the Beavers would warm up in this one. Bill Ruby going to get this open look right here from just inside the line. Nice bucket there. How about Teron Moss here? He's going to make some moves here, all on his own. Making Mr. St. Peter look a little silly.
That's a D1 player.
All right, how about this? Amir Moss right here, finding former Skowhegan standout. Iggy's it with him. Deep pass, deep bucket. Eagles keeping it within single digits the entire second half, but Riley Robinson is going to get a screen right here, and the open jumper. Beavers go on to win this one 77-70. The girls, they took the floor first earlier this evening. Husson trying to stay undefeated. Both teams undefeated in the NAC. Fourth quarter, we're going to pick things up there. Beavers with the ball. Victoria Garland powering it up from under the basket. She gets the pass there in traffic. Beavers trying to make it a game, but it's still a double-digit deficit there. Eagles went cold in the first quarter of the fourth quarter.
Was Bailey Donovan a part of that?
Yeah, she was. That's why.
Really?
Yeah. Nobody was shooting the ball. They had no problem. UMF there. Molly Folsom getting a great pass from Tia Day, but Joan Overman, she can hit a free throw, but no field goal.
But they still had a big lead, though.
Yeah, exactly. But finally, with green hair and all, Sammy Ireland.
She's matching the uniform.
That's right. No,
She's
it looks
a team
great.
player.
She is a team player, and she get them on the board finally there in the fourth quarter. Emma Alley doing her part as well, dropping that one in the paint. 71-53 is the win there. Eagles still undefeated in NAC play.
All right, time now for some other scores. These are high school scores from around the area. Skowhegan beating Camden Hills on the boys' side. MCI over Belfast. Winslow beating Mount View by 2 points. Skowhegan beating Camden Hills on the girls' side. Some more scores from tonight. Winslow over Mount View on the girls' side by 20. Callis taking care of Bucksport. Central over Mattinaw-Cook. And then Dexter taking care of PCHS. All right, John, a lot to get to in this week's Rebound. Let's not waste any time. Isaac Varney's injury being out for Herman. This has got to open the floodgates in Class B North.
Yeah, that's the way I see it. You know, coming all the way back to that Caribou win, you know, you thought maybe Caribou was still the team to beat, even though Herman was able to get the win here. As you can see, this is from that game right there. But you thought then that they were going to be the team to beat, Caribou that is, and I think that still remains the same, especially with Varney out. Now, there's definitely some possibility Wyatt Gogan can make some moves, as well as Eli Reed, who is a great shooter. But I don't know if they can, you know, overcome that, and to get Varney back, they would have to make it to, you know, the state championship game, if that. But it's a very unlikely possibility.
It's hard, especially this late in the year, to really have those young players step up in a big role like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, switching gears a little bit, you can't have this show and not hit on Kobe Bryant. The basketball world still mourning after losing him, his daughter, and 7 others in a helicopter crash on Sunday. Andrew, what are your thoughts here, man?
I mean, we lost a legend, we lost an icon, but I think the thing that it's really kind of sad that when we remember legends like Kobe Bryant, we learn more and more about what kind of a person he was off the court. I had no idea. I wasn't the biggest Kobe Bryant fan on the court, but you got to respect the rise after 2003 in Denver and the rape allegation. You got to respect the guy for really doing his best for the women's basketball game, really doing his best for the global game. And I mean, you heard stories like Mike Breen recounting that, you know, he was in a taxi cab in the Olympics in China, and someone asked him, Kobe Bryant, do you know Kobe Bryant? The guy got out of his car and started crying because he was so happy that someone knew who Kobe Bryant was in China. That epitomizes what Kobe Bryant meant to the world of basketball.
Yeah, and I think more the thing that'll live on, it's not, you know, the 81-point nights, it's not the 61 points on his final night, it's the Mamba mentality. It's outworking everybody in the gym. And of course, you know, you have to take in, you know, he made some mistakes early in his life, and we're not going to, you know, gloss over that. But the impact he went on to make in the community, like you said, and in the women's basketball game is really impressive.
Really special, of course. Yeah. Basketball world's still mourning Kobe Bryant. That's just how much he meant to everyone, even those that he touched, and even those that who didn't know him, like the two of us as well.
No, we didn't know. Yeah,
nice little tribute there.
I tried a little bit, right? I try to invoke the Mamba mentality, but I don't always do so good. But
you're doing all right.
E for effort, right?
All right, with almost half the team out injured, the Maine women's basketball team has been forced to go deep into their bench to even fill out a scout team in practice.
Yeah, so deep that 2 former Maine basketball players who are now on the coaching staff have been forced to lace back up their basketball shoes. We talked to Courtney England and Parise Rossignol in this week's Heartwood Spotlight.
Going from the bench to the scout team could sound like a demotion.
Sprint! Let's go, Blue!
But not when you're a coach.
As everyone knows, we don't have that many active players, so she's like, I need you to suit up for practice. So it was actually funny. The next day, I'm like, do you need me to suit up today? She's like, I'm going to need you to bring some shoes every day. So I was like, all right, here we go, no problem.
Assistant coaches Courtney England and Parise Rossignol may have thought their playing days were behind them.
No baseline!
But they've been called back to action to fill out the scout team, and time off has been kinder to one more than the other.
I definitely didn't anticipate having to play. If I did, maybe I would have kept in better shape. Get your body in the right place. Let's go.
No, I think Parise is definitely in a different space than I am. She's only not been working out for a few months. I'm at years now. So our situations are very different. I just had a baby as well, so that's like a whole different thing.
England may be one of the few new mothers actively playing against Division I basketball players.
Gaddy likes to yell sometimes that's somebody's mother, so that's great. I enjoy that.
For the current rotation, Rossignol plays the opposition's best player.
Stop giving up!
A decent look considering she's a record-setting three-point shooter.
It's always nice to have her here as a coach and as a player. She's a great coach, she's a great player, so she always helps us.
The situation works out well for Rossignol. She still gets to play for her team with none of the extra work.
I don't lift, no, just I come to practice. Sometimes I don't even warm up, so pull a few muscles here and there, but...
At the root, Rossignol and England getting back on the court is just an extension of coaches doing their best for their team.
The next person has to step up, and we coach the same regardless. And so is this situation ideal? No, but we have good basketball players regardless.
I mean, not a bad person to play against. If you're going to have to compete against a forward player, Parise, fresh off a great career, I mean, it could be worse.
two players who are still quite active, and I mean, yeah, Paris like a legendary 3-point shooter, and she's still got those basketball legs.
Yeah, I mean, Courtney still called Paris a walking bucket.
Yeah.
Even afterwards, but
Yeah, I mean-
a couple pulled muscles and all,
What was that, 8 3-pointers last year in one
Yep,
game?
yeah, that's right. Yep, set a school record.
Not too bad.
Yeah,
not
not
too
at all.
bad. All right, well, that was a packed block of action on Friday Night Fast Break. We still have plenty more to get to, though. We got Trinity Montigny in studio from Ellsworth Girls Basketball and plenty more. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Friday Night Fast Break. It was quite the week for Ellsworth basketball, John. Jackson Curtis scored his 1,000th point over Presque Isle on Saturday, and Trinity Montigny followed suit on Wednesday.
Yeah, absolutely. And she was kind enough to join us live in studio tonight to go one-on-one. Trinity, thanks so much for joining us. You became the second Ellsworth girl to score 1,000 points, joining Len Westcott, who did it all the way back in 1988 before any of us at this desk were
Even a thought.
even born. A few days removed from the milestone. Has it really sunk in yet?
Has it? I'm not sure. I think so. It's been really nice being at school with all my friends and stuff, and all the teachers that have been rooting for me all season. So I think it's starting to sink in. I'm not really sure if it will for a long time. Especially, I'm waiting for the tournament, I think, is when it'll start to sink in.
So you guys look like you're firmly in the playoffs. Still some work to do. Does tonight's game getting canceled against Herman kind of throw a wrench into the flow for you guys?
I think if anything, it actually helped us. I think we've been playing back-to-back. We had 5 games in 7 days, so getting another practice in was probably extra helpful for us.
All right, well, lastly, the team is filled with young talent this year. You've taken on the role as the senior leader in pretty much every aspect. Who has stepped up for you guys lately in your eyes, and who's poised to have a breakout streak down the stretch?
I think we've been lucky enough to have everybody step it up in different games. Everybody's been very important, some defensively and some offensively. Some people are the hype men on the bench. So I think we've had a lot of people step it up, but right now, our freshmen and our underclassmen, Jocelyn Jordan too, and Morgan Clifford and Casey Carter have been stepping it up big time. So I think we've been lucky enough to have the young people step up.
So you score your 1,000-point Trinity in the last game. You drop 80 or so points against Foxcroft. That had to be the best game of the season collectively for everyone, including you. Do you feel like you guys are hitting your stride at the right point with 2 games left in the season?
Yeah, I do. I think we're hitting it perfectly. I know last year we kind of hit our stride at the beginning of the season, and I think that didn't work out for us clearly, but I think right now we're hitting it perfectly, and it's just going to flow into playoffs for us.
All right, really quickly here, the last time you guys faced Herman, it was in your gym. It was an overtime game. Hawks came away with a win. What's it going to take to get you over the hump tomorrow afternoon?
You know, I think we're a lot more prepared for it now. They came out in a 1-3-1 that kind of caught us off guard, but we've been practicing a lot on that. And it was just a fun game. We enjoy playing Herman. I know our coaches get along well, and everybody likes Chris. So I think it'll just be fun. And this time we need it. We want this win. I think we're going to want it more than them. So.
The Ellsworth Eagles, Trinity Montigny, sitting pretty in the last quadrant of Class B North, but looking for some big heel point wins against Herman and MDI later this week. Trinity, thanks so much for coming in studio tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, John, the Eagles looking to do big things in the next 2 games against Presque Isle and MDI. At this point, we're going to switch gears, though, a little bit and get to some more fun segments in the show. We're on board with TikTok at this point, whether we like it or not.
I know I am, and we're working on you. We're getting there. We found a lane.
I still don't really know what it's about.
We don't do the dancing. We're really there for the comedy. We're Vine guys. Vine was great.
Yeah.
It's living on a little bit.
It's OG.
Yeah, but we found out if MDI's Porter Isaacs feels the same way in this week's edition of A Minute With.
My favorite Disney movie is Moana because it has The Rock and the songs are pretty cool in it. I am not into TikTok. It's not my thing. I'd have to do popcorn because it's buttery. I like butter a lot. It's salty. I'll have to go with Ashton Lozano because he's always bugging us during practice. Gilbert was a force at football, but I think I'm a little quicker than him and could beat him in basketball. But if we played football against each other, he'd demolish me.
All right. I mean, there you go. TikTok, he's going to pass on it. But we're going to figure it out.
Everyone's passing, though.
No, but we're not.
They really like it.
I think next week we have to have a TikTok ready.
We might have to.
We might have to. I think that would, because I feel like we had talked about the baby. We have talked about TikTok for like 6 weeks now. So we need to.
Still don't know what any of it is.
It's okay. That's all right. All right. You know what you do know about? A little bit of heat. It's time to crank up that thermostat.
Joke's on you.
What?
It's always on in here.
It is really hot in here.
We don't know how to fix it.
Does it look like we're sweating? We might be.
So I put makeup on.
That's right. All right. It is time for Hot Take City. And I think you want the first one here. You want to take it first?
I'm going to proclaim, John, that George Stevens boys basketball and Dexter, they're still the top dogs in Class C North despite GSA falling and Dexter squeaking one out.
Andrew, explain yourself, please.
These two teams, most experienced, most seniors on the team, they want it the most. You know why? Both of them have been in close games this year. GSA falling might be good for him down the stretch, but I like the winning pedigree on that team. Andrew Suez leaves town. Everyone overlooks them.
Yeah.
You know what they do? They bring in a transfer, Milo Suika from overseas. He's been playing excellent. Caden Matson, maybe overlooked because brother Max Matson got all the storylines while he was there. And then Dexter also. They play a tough style of game that suits well at the Cross Center. Losing to Madanagcook in the tournament as well, kind of coming up short last year against them multiple times. I think both those teams are destined for a collision course in that C North Regional Final. I think it's theirs to win. Central having a great run, knocking off GSA, but I think it's those two teams.
I mean, you see it at almost every level that playing as the underdog serves really well to motivate the guys, to say we're the only ones that believe in us. And, I mean, you see it, and it could work for them. I'll let you hold on to that one.
I know you will.
But we'll see. But it's my turn now. We save the best or last because I am Mr. Hot Takes.
You are.
And here it is. This might not even be that hot, but I'm going to let
It's more like a rant session.
No, here it is. Stall ball. We got to quit it. It's terrible for the entire state. It needs to be stopped. And you know who you are. Please. We got to have a shot clock. Stall ball can win you a game. We saw it earlier this week in one of the lowest scoring varsity boys basketball games
I think we've ever seen or heard of.
Maybe, yes, seen or heard of. For both scores to be that low, under 20 points apiece, that's good for no one but a win. It's one of these things where you can win doing it that way, but what does that serve to gain? You're not helping your kids grow. You're not showing your kids how to win the right way. And if you put a shot clock in these games, now I know there's a whole financial thing to work. You have to pay for the shot clock. You have to pay for somebody to run that shot clock. But I think if it means enough to the state, and I think it does, that you can find the money or find people to help raise that money to help basketball in this state grow because it needs it. It really does.
I agree.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to be said. I agree.
All right, we can turn back down the thermostat now, or we'll try.
Finally, it's time to close out the show with our favorite thing from the week. You just got to see this, and it's a mixture of things. Unified basketball kicking off this week.
It's the best.
It's just awesome.
It's awesome.
And this is something, actually, this is Ellsworth highlights, but anyway, here we go.
There it is.
This dance marathon caught me off guard.
I'm here for it.
I haven't seen it at a unified game, and it was great.
I'm here for a good, this is halftime, right?
This is halftime.
Here for a good halftime dance break.
It was great, and you know, Brewer does so well, Orno coming in, doing it well as well. And I think what I really liked is there was a genuine interest from everyone. It wasn't just, you know, I'm going to go out there and go through the motions. Everyone was on board, from the people in the crowd to the people working the concession stands. Unified basketball just is, I think, collectively everyone can agree is the best thing going in the state in terms of sports.
Yeah, absolutely. And a special credit to Brewer. They really go all in on unified basketball.
Yep.
Teams across the state, not to bag on them, but you know, of course everybody works really hard with that, and props to everybody involved with unified basketball.
Week 9 in the books, another great week of high school, college, and professional basketball. That's all the time we have for this edition of Friday Night Fast Break. He's John Wagner. I'm Andrew Badillo. 10 p.m. news on Fox 22 returns after the break.